the return was 2.8%, which is a little bit less than the previous year of 3.3. But a lot of it is laddering, and so they're trying to adjust our program. So some of the due dates of some of our investments come in a couple, 2 or 3 years, when we hope that interest rates are a little higher. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Councillor Radburn. That concludes our committee business. We had no items of correspondence. The delegation business, I think, was concluded with the presentation of the proclamation. We had no notices of motions. That brings us to council member reports. And Councillor Radburn, you're still on. You had Grand Spirit Foundation first on the list.
Thank you. So I'm just reporting on the Grand Spirit Foundation Management Committee meeting of August 24th. Kind of 5 highlights to share. One is the financials are on track relative to budget for the year. We had a new insurance claim procedure starting April 1st with the government. There was a letter confirming a confirmation of Cabinet's decision, provincial Cabinet's decision to transfer senior lodge programs from health to municipal affairs. We looked at the 2012 External Safety Audit Improvement Plan brought forward by our administration. And we scheduled we're calling it a new lodge facilitated discussion. We're looking at a new lodge in Grand Prairie, and we're talking about the vision of what we want it to look at and what kinds of clients we want to cater to. And so that will be a facilitated discussion that will give us some better idea of potential costs and land needs, those kind of things. So looking forward to that discussion with the board.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks very much, Councillor Radburn. I see Councillor Rice maybe had a question or a comment. Councillor Rice?
Councillor Radburn, has the Grand Spirit Foundation had any discussion in terms of the ramifications of switching seniors housing over to municipal affairs, and do they have any concerns related to that change?
Yeah, actually, we saw that this actually as fairly positive. Apparently, municipal affairs used to be in their portfolio, and we're pretty comfortable with working with that department.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Radburn. Councillor Rice. Councillor Crokin, I believe you had Peace Library System?
Thanks, Mayor Given. Industry Canada announced the elimination of the Community Access Program, which is called CAP, effective April the 1st, 2012. Through CAP, Industry Canada provided most member libraries with about $1,400 per year to help defray the cost of providing members of the public with free access to computers and the internet. This funding has been extremely important in allowing libraries in our area to keep their public access computers, hardware and software up to date. Despite lobbying from across the country, the program will not be instated, but that's not the end of the story. So we're gonna keep working on that. Plan of service update. A draft of the 2013-15 plan of service will be brought to the board in November at our AGM. Now this one, I'm not using acronyms, but these are actual. We are having a mass of people interested in ebooks, and I'm not a real proponent of an ebook yet, but I think we'll see some heads nodding here. And it's called the Overdrive Service. Is ongoing track prescription. The free reading service is funded by the Public Library Services, and a third source of track is from 3M and 3M's Cloud Library, and it's integrated into Polaris. So I'm not talking about different types of snow machines. It's really exciting. These people that are putting this together, Jennifer at our office at the head office does a good job on that. So that's about all from the directors meeting.
Great. Thanks very much, Councillor Crokin. Councillor O'Toole, I believe you had Philip J. Curry Dinosaur Museum.
Yes, I got a couple of hang on here. Thank you very much, Mayor Given. So the Philip J. Curry Museum, we're having our annual general meeting starting next week. It will be held on September 13th at 6 o'clock, and it'll be election of officers and stuff like that. The normal things get done on a general meeting for the year end, and public is welcome to attend. And just wanted to make sure that everybody knew about that. Some of the summer programs that the girls that were involved in the bone bed programs, we had 1,861 participants throughout the summer that performed The participants watched performances in a dino-themed play, whether it was at the Pipestone Creek campground area or Saskatoon Lake, or even this last week, we had it at Muskosipi Park Pavilion and Amphitheater. There was a number of participants that got into replica making of dinosaur bones and stuff like that. And bone bed tours were up, this is as of the 1st of August, 436 participants in there. So it's getting around. People are quite interested. Local people as well as tourists from other parts of the province were here.
Let's see, Councillor Rice had a question or comment? Councillor Rice?
You had a summer student, I believe, out there doing the tours. Are they over now?
They are over now. I think
Okay.
yesterday was the last day.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Councillor Rice. Councillor O'Toole, do you want to carry on with your South Peace Regional Archives?
Yeah, and I actually got one more if you don't
Oh,
mind
sorry.
doing that too. South Peace Regional Archives is doing a 2012 film and story tea. Used to take place in the evening on a Sunday. In the past couple of years, the turnout has been quite successful by having it in the afternoon. People at 7 o'clock at night are tendency to be a little tired, so they've changed the hours to start at 1:45. The doors will be open. Program begins at 2, and some of the speakers and storytellers are all local people and historian types from the Peace River area. And there's tickets available, and welcome to do. And the New Horizon Co-op is a major sponsor, and they look after the museum and the archives quite well and this sort of thing.
They're having their 75th anniversary.
And it is their 75th anniversary, so that'll be Sunday, October 14th at the Grand Prairie Golden Age Center. And I got one more little tidbit of information from the archives. If you're from Grand Prairie and want to know a little bit about the earlier days of Grand Prairie, they come out with a quarterly newsletter, and this is called Telling the Stories. And just to, if I just take a couple seconds here, do you remember the Bear Creek Flats, the flats? And there's a little bit of a housing development map here for the people that actually lived here. Panda Camera, Paul Prevere was one of the owners of Panda Camera. He's got a little story in here as well. The Scrabola, three people decided they were going to buy a car. They cut it in half, stretched it out so they could all get in it, and they drove to Banff and come back. And that was in 1926 car, and they drove it in 1935 to Banff and back to Grand Prairie again. Yeah, and there's just a little bit of history of the Bear Creek Flats.
Limitless possibility.
Yeah. So if you haven't got one of these, you can pick them down at the museum, and I'll do that, Helen. Okay. And if you don't mind, I've got one more on the disabled transport system that we have. We are looking at getting installing new restraints on the buses, so it's a little bit easier for the attendants to strap in and strap the riders out of, a little bit more ergonomically manner. So we got 4 restraint systems installed. Sorry, the systems are installed on 4 buses. We've got 2 additional buses to look after, and they will be installed as soon as they come in for their regular routine maintenance. Ridership, in 2011 we had just shy of 19,000 people. This year we've gone up 2,241 more passengers than that. So it's increased. 2,178 trips in 7 months. It's over 300 trips for these buses per month. In addition, 5,418 trips were canceled by clients, booked and then canceled before pickup. So it can be a little bit frustrating. We are looking at going out and extending our services to Claremont. There's a number of residents and members that are from the Claremont area, and we're just trying to figure out the most economical way of doing that, whether it's a full-size bus or more of a handy type bus. So those are some of the things that are highlighted in there.
Excellent, thanks very much. I see Councillor Rice has a question or comment again.
County pay?
The county has given the disabled some money.
Enough to financially justify?
They're in negotiations, and yeah, I don't have the number here.
Okay.
I believe they increased it, if I'm remembering correctly, to 15,000.
Yeah, it was
Previously,
10
they
before.
were at about 9,000 or
Yeah.
10,000. They've just recently increased it, and in speaking to the folks at the society, they said that they believe that they can do it on a cost recovery basis, and they assured me that there wouldn't be any subsidization, sort of cross-subsidization between the services.
And just one more note, we are looking at replacing some of the buses that are in service now, and we are coming up with some design seating arrangements that are more beneficial to the riders as well as the drivers and operators.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Councillor O'Toole. I don't believe there are any other council member reports from boards or committees. And Councillor O'Toole, since we finished with you there, do you want to start the council roundtable?
Well, I'd be welcome
We'll
to.
go from you to Councillor
Okay.
Radburn and around. We'll switch it up and go or clockwise this time rather than counter.
Perfect. You okay with that? Okay. On the 22nd, I attended a workshop forum that was put on by the ERCB. There was a number of local people from Grand Prairie of all types of walks in life and ages, and it was to see what the possibilities are to enhance the role of the ERCB if there was a need to, and if anybody actually understood what the ERCB role was. And like I said, there was all types of walks of life that attended, and it was a very good information session, and there was lots of notes taken by all. On the 23rd, a number of council and administration had lunch at the A&W for the MS Society of Alberta, and we met at the A&W on the north side, and donations were given to the society at the location there. And on the 24th, it was a Friday, I opened tenders here at City Hall, and one of them was some concepts on the reservoir project. There was a number of them there, but that was one that stands out. On the 25th, the Grand Prairie Autorama had an indoor car show and shine. It's going to be a beginning of a large one for the 100th anniversary in 2014 for the city of Grand Prairie. We had a reasonably good turnout. That particular day was the same day that their GP Regional Ag Society had their 100th anniversary out at the Tech Center. And we were joined by many past board members and executive of the Ag Society over the years, as well as Premier Redford and MLA Wayne Drysdale were also in attendance. On the 26th, I was there early in the morning with Councillor John Crokin, and I have no idea how many hundreds of hot dogs we cooked. I won't go there, but it was the launch of the new parking lot and the Zumba event. I understand the parking lot isn't quite finished yet, but the Zumba event went quite successful. And later that day, I took my grandson out on a boat and went fishing for the very first time. He was quite thrilled. He's 3 years old. And on the 30th, I went down to Muskosipi Park and joined about 250 other people and watched the dino play being at the amphitheater. And it was very interesting. It was good to see. On the 2nd of this month, I attended the Toys for Tot fundraiser out at the Wapiti Shooters Club. They raised well over $1,000 for the Toys for Tots. And last night, I was joined by a number of council members and my wife and I cooked the turducken, and it was I think it went okay. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much, Councillor O'Toole. Councillor Radburn.
Okay, it was great. It was great.
Perfect.
August 23rd, I also attended the MSF fundraiser at A&W. Thanks to A&W for contributing, I believe, $1 per teen burger to the MS Society. Had a good turnout of council and staff and city staff. It was great. August 26th, I returned from Edmonton just in time to take in a bit of the Eastlink parking lot party. I missed Kevin here, but I was able to chat with John Crokin, or Councillor Crokin and Councillor McLean, who were cooking up a storm and did a great job. And our mayor was dancing away among the hundreds doing the Zumba.
That was Zumbeing. I was exercising.
Zumbeing.
Exercising.
Good. August 28th, annexation city committee meeting, and then later that afternoon we had another session with the county in terms of our annexation discussions. August 29th evening, I went to actually my wife Donna, we went to the evening with the marathon woman Catherine Switzer. A very inspiring presentation and a really great event. Rob Smith also shared his story at that event, and congratulations to Lola Wright and Don Marie Krause for being the main organizers of that event. August 30th, I attended the Regional Alternate Strategies for Seniors Transportation Committee meeting. And quickly this morning I went to we have an annual retired teachers opening day of school breakfast at the golf course, and was able to meet and talk and chat with my former colleagues. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Councillor Radburn. Councillor Crokin.
Thank you, Mayor Given. On Thursday, August 23rd, I attended a meeting with the Friends of the Grand Spirit Foundation, so I wasn't driving on my hot rod up there at A&W. On Friday, the 24th, I brought greetings at the 40th anniversary of the Archie Harvey Golf fundraising tournament. On Saturday, the 25th, I went to Fairview to the Peace Library executive meeting. And later that day, attended a meet and greet with Mrs. Premier Alison Redford and Wayne Drysdale, of course, at the 100th anniversary celebration of the Grand Prairie Regional Ag Society at the Tech Center. Nice meal and great get-together. Then on Sunday, as it was mentioned, I cooked hamburgers, and I was trying to put a number on them, but we could do about 60 at a time, and we rotated that about 4 times an hour, and I was there at 3 o'clock, so that was just the hamburgers, and minus whatever I ate. But it was really enjoyed by all. It was really nice to see the young children out there enjoying. There were some bouncing games and people driving over the newly sodded dirt. It was a great day. I was joined by our city manager on his holidays, I might add, and he was flipping those hot dogs, and that was very good to see you there too. It was a great crowd there, and about 3 o'clock when I was pretty well cooked out, this Zumba exercise came on. So I had to go inside and register, and they wanted a unique kind of picture. So of course I had my hat on, and I put my water bottle on top of my hat. She thought that was the best picture she'd taken all day. I hope it doesn't go anywhere. But anyway, that parking lot is not for running shoes to do Zumba. Holy lightning, what a workout. That's great. I was at the very back so I could get to my... Is it? Yeah. Zumba. Well, Zumba. It was really good. And then on Thursday, the 30th, I attended presentation at our for our engineering department by Morse Guy, these gentlemen that flew into town. Thanks again to Christine Donnelly and about 11 of her co-workers. And Wayne Morsky and Larry did a great presentation for them at the service center. And on August 31st, I opened approximately 8 tenders. And that was about it.
Great. Thanks very much, Councillor Crokin. Councillor Monroe.
Thanks very much, Mayor Given. Thanks to Councillor O'Toole and wife Kathy for the turducken dinner last night. It was quite fantastic. Last week I attended the Chamber of Commerce mixer. It was the final summer mixer over at Western Financial Group. So thanks to Western Financial Group for hosting. Attended a number of annexation meetings, as Councillor Radburn had already indicated there, and also took my daughter and met up with a few of the councillors and admin staff at A&W for the MS fundraiser on the 23rd. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention, and perhaps maybe in the future this could be a council member report, but I attended my first Nighthawk general meeting. And sorry, I should have caught that earlier, Mayor Given. Just a couple highlights from the meeting. It looks like things are off to a good start with Nighthawk. They've received some funding from us, as well as the county and the MD of Greenview, of course. They're working on a number of grants right now to update some of the infrastructure out there. They've got a casino lined up for next March. They've managed to find some savings in their insurance. They're going to be tentatively hopping on with the MD of Greenview's insurance plan through AAMDC. Is that what it is? AM, something like that? Which should be some significant insurance savings from what they were able to get by themselves. Still having some struggles, of course, with the high cost of utilities out there, but they're not giving up on it. And then finally, they are doing a fundraiser here in a couple weeks. On September 22nd, they'll be hosting, I believe it's their 15th annual comedy night. Tickets for this event are $50 each, or a table of 10 for $500. And I would encourage anyone that's in town on the 22nd to please get yourself a ticket or a table and go out to the comedy night. It's out at 5 Mile Hall and is always quite entertaining. I've been to it a number of times myself, and would encourage everyone to go. So that was it. Thank you very much.
Great, thanks, Councilor Monroe. We'll make a note to include Nighthawk now that the city has a standing board member. We'll include that in council member reports. Councilor Rice.
I too attended the turducken evening, and a great job, Councillor O'Toole, and would point out that the city manager did join us. Although he was late, he was still on his holidays. So that was good that he showed up with his offering intact. I attended the AMDNC zone meeting, and an interesting array of speakers, and they rolled out their new program, energy program, which will be competing with AUMA's. And I believe we are now about to live the reality of the ancient curse, may you live in changing times. The Parti Québécois just won the election in Quebec.
There you go. Okay, thanks very much, Councilor Rice. Councilor McLean.
You could have.
Thank you, Mayor Given. On August 23rd, I also attended at the Northern A&W, the MS Cruise for a Cause. As Councillor Radburn was saying, $1 per team bigger, but they also had quilts and a tent before it. And I really wanted to win the quilt because it was the colors of A&W and it stuck out. But I talked to a couple individuals there that had MS, and in the Northern Alberta, we seem to have a little bit more that have MS. And one lady went through the procedure twice. You heard of this procedure they're doing it. Canada Health isn't, they're looking at it, but there's no funding for it, so they got to go to the country and get the procedure done for $10,000, $15,000 a pop. And from what I was hearing is 1/3 are having incredible results, 1/3 are getting a little better, and 1/3 it's doing nothing. So hopefully the government of Canada will see something here, and if 1/3 are getting incredible results, then hopefully we'll have a study back soon that will hopefully help people with MS. On August 26th, I also attended the grand opening for the new south parking lot, celebrating memberships and the new East Link. I did miss out with Kevin O'Toole and the city manager there, but I did see Lauren Radburn and Councillor Crook and me cooking. And of course, I'd rather be cooking because my wife and 2 children were out dancing in the Suma with the mayor, and a lot of them were sweating quite a bit. There had to be 700-800 people. I don't know. There was a lot of people, and it was a job well done. And East Link Center, we know it's a very, very big hit in the city. On another one, I went on August 30th, was conversations with Albertans on healthcare. And it was Wayne Drysdale, Minister of Infrastructure, was there, and they're going to be having another one on finance. So I think that'd be a very important one to attend. And just a couple things from that stuck out was they talked about community access to service, like one of the biggest things is healthcare in the province of Alberta, about educating our nurses and doctors and maintaining them here after they're educating, not leaving, grants, bursaries. Accountability, too much bureaucracy, putting more money on frontline workers. And then there was also options for access facilities. People will go to emergency because they don't have a doctor, family doctor in their city, or go to a small town where they get service quicker. More attention to home care, cost savings. And they also, for private healthcare facility for seniors, seniors stuck out quite a bit. They find this, there should be standards and inspections could be done better and more looked at. And they find that they're being nickel and dimed. And another thing I noticed for seniors is we have the Grand Alliance with the town of Grand Cache. They're talking about having a bus, bring seniors up here to go to the hospital, see the specialist. But on the other end, we're also could be looking at seniors getting out of their room, not just lock them in a room, and they can go see the mountains. So there was a perspective on that avenue as well. And two other things that kind of got my attention. Minister of Infrastructure, Wayne Drysdale, said he knows seniors outreach is underfunded, his exact words. And another one is the Peace Health Advisory Council. I think there's 15 that sit on there. The city of Grand Prairie is the majority for population, sort of in the zone. We have 2 members out of 15. So we really need some people to step up on the Health Advisory Council. And one of the city Grand Prairie members is stepping down. So I hope that we have more representation on there. Thank you.
Great. Thanks very much, Councillor O'Toole, or Councillor McLean, excuse me. And I think on that Health Advisory Council, they are actually actively looking for volunteers. So that was the point you're getting across, is that people are interested. That's a way that they can serve in the community by volunteering to sit on the Health Advisory Council. Thanks for highlighting that. I think, do you have the website there, Councillor McLean? Is it on the card?
Thank you, Mayor Given. And I'm trying to look, but basically there's a phone number. Yeah, you can go peace at albertahealthcareservices.ca or the phone number 1-877-275-8830. And I hope more residents in the city of Grand Prairie will step up on this one.
Thanks very much, Councillor McLean. Let's see. So on Tuesday the 21st, or to start off the morning, I had a meeting with Mr. Ray Pisani, who's the CEO of Alberta Blue Cross. He was here with one of his board members, Mr. Pete Merlot, serves on the board of Alberta Blue Cross. Mr. Sani was interested in how things are going in Grand Prairie. They have been a contributor to the Safety City. Alberta Blue Cross is actively looking for ways to get engaged in encouraging positive, healthy community living, and so we were able to discuss a few ideas that they were thinking about. The next day I had an opportunity to meet with a resident who had some concerns about traffic on a downtown corner, and then Thursday and Friday I was in Edmonton for the Mid-Sized City Mayors Caucus meetings, I was in Strathcona County, hosted by Strathcona County. We were able to welcome for the first time Associate Minister Greg Wiedek, who is the Associate Minister for Municipal Affairs, and his responsibilities, he only has 2 that the Premier tasked him with. The first was to look at the sustainability of municipal funding, sort of in the broad picture, and then the second one was to ensure that the views of mid-sized cities are reflected in government policy. So that was a pretty significant first, I think, that mid-sized cities have been mentioned specifically. The associate ministers are full ministers. You get to address them as the Honourable as well, which is something that I learned. So it was good to see that mid-sized cities, Alberta's sort of other urban centres, are getting that recognition within our provincial government. Also at the meeting were representatives from the AAMDNC as well as the AUMA. And the group decided, the Mid-Sized City Mayors group decided to extend an invitation to towns over 15,000 to attend. There are a few communities in the province that are cities that are under 15,000, and a few examples of towns that are over 15,000, up to the size of Okotoks, which I think is probably the largest town of somewhere around 25,000 people. And so it's The discussion was about keeping the group nimble and not having too many members, but also ensuring that all communities that had similar interests and issues would be at the table. And so the group decided to extend the invitation to those towns over 15,000, of which I think there's probably an additional 4 that will start attending. So a good way to improve the strength of that group. I was back in town that Friday night for the Ag Society, that Saturday for the Ag Society 100th anniversary. Was great to see Premier Redford make her way up. I know that while she was here, she also had an opportunity to see the Art Gallery of Grand Prairie and undertake a number of other activities. So certainly appreciated her being here and all the work of the Ag Society members over the years. It was really interesting to be at the event and see their timeline and history that they had assembled. There was a picture of some fairgrounds that I barely remember. I'm sure others might remember them better. There was also a picture of Mayor Al Romanchuk in a pretty spanky looking suit. And so that was the first time that I'd ever seen him in his suit that Helen has referred to a few times. Baby blue with white cowboy hat, and yeah. That sounds like that might have been it. I also attended the Eastlink Center parking lot party, and thanks so much to the staff at the Eastlink Center who arranged that, and then also our city engineering staff who took care of all the design work for the parking lot. I know it's something that the community was really asking for, and I mean, why not have a party to celebrate probably one of the best, what will be one of the best used parking lots in Grand Prairie. So thanks very much to the staff that arranged the party and made that parking lot possible. And that same day, before I went to the Eastlink Center and got sweaty during Zumba, I had an opportunity to visit the Sikh temple. I was invited by their association just to provide a message of community support with regard to the shooting that happened a while ago in a Sikh temple in Wisconsin, in the United States. A few of the community members were concerned about that, and it was felt that if I was able to come by and pass on a message of support, the community would appreciate that, and so I was happy to do it. On Monday, I was at the GPRC to spend a couple hours as a witness for a world record attempt at the world's longest board game marathon. I was there for about hour 22, and partway through, one of the 4 players came down with an illness and had to leave, and so they dropped down to just 3. That was the excitement for the 70-some hour board game marathon. I didn't hear how they made out, but great to see that the GPRC board game and chess club was putting something like that on in Grand Prairie. Later that day, I had an opportunity to do a phone interview with Associate Minister Don Scott. He is the Associate Minister of Accountability and Transparency, I believe. He was doing a phone interview on discussion for whistleblower legislation that the province is looking at bringing forward, and he wanted to get a municipal view on that. On Tuesday, I also attended the annexation meetings that were mentioned by a number of other members of council, and on Thursday the 30th, I had an opportunity to head out to the STARS base and make the City of Grand Prairie's presentation to STARS of our $50,000 towards their operating. Over the term of the city's involvement, we've contributed nearly $250,000 in direct operating support, as well as some additional support for the landing pad at the hospital and some other gift in kind, and so we certainly look forward to continuing that relationship. And this morning, I was at Parkside School to attend and help kick off the school year, as along with the members of the Grand Prairie Storm and some of the media, and in support of the AMA's School Patroller Program, which is celebrating its 75th anniversary. You might notice my badge. I'm not a deputized anything except for maybe a deputized school patroller. It's about all the authority that I get these days. But many of us in the community obviously have probably served as school patrollers over the years. I know that I did, and there are lots of other people sharing their memories. The AMA is launching a social media campaign, and there's a Facebook site where people can go and online and sort of registers to say that they were a school patroller and share their memories of it. But certainly appreciate the volunteering that, I mean, this is for many kids their first experience in volunteering within their school, doing something on behalf of their classmates. So certainly a great program that provides safety and volunteering opportunities for kids. And later this afternoon, I had an opportunity to meet with some members of the Rotary Group Study Exchange from New Zealand who are visiting Grand Prairie. A number of them are educators, and some specifically had some questions about local government and how, if the City of Grand Prairie is employing any strategies to engage youth in local government or democracy and community action. So we had a good discussion and maybe some additional discussion to come out of that. If there was nothing else for the meeting, then I will call our meeting adjourned. Thanks very much.